Shalom, family. All right, and welcome back to another Faithful Friday Sabbath class. Okay, we're going to pick things back up in the book of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, and begin at verse 1. And it reads, "But thou, O God, art gracious and true, long suffering, and in mercy, ordering all things." So, understanding the Most High God is a very balanced power. Okay, and the reason why I say that is look at some of the shows, movies, video games, so on and so forth that you see, or things you might read about concerning a god or gods. Okay, and not all have a level of morality. Okay, and how they deal with a level of fairness. Okay, but when it comes to the living God, the Most High God power, you see that He's very fair. And not only is He fair, He's very forgiving. You know, um, as believe it or not, as it may or may not seem, especially when you read the Bible, and a lot of the history, and seeing that Most High, he could have very much so have made more harsh judgments in terms of how he dealt with nations or individuals, but being very gracious and merciful and long suffering, having a lot of patience, extreme patience. Those are all things that, it's you can't put a price on. You can only respect and appreciate. You should respect and appreciate. And especially, and it says, and in mercy, ordering all things. Like, Most High God set things up, a certain way. It's not just, he's not just as we would think, like how man does. Oh, I'm in a bad mood today, so because I'm in a bad mood, now y'all finna suffer. Most High God doesn't get down like that. He's not in a space where he's having mood swings and his judgments just be shifting from day to day just off a whim. Just off of this is just now I'm having a moment. No, it's not like that. He orders everything and makes sure he his judgment is true. It's not an emotional type thing. So verse 2. It is for if we sin, because any of us can sin in a number of regards. None of us are in a place where we have a sin blocker on, like, oh, I'm invincible to sin. No, none of us have that. For if we sin, we are thine. Meaning what? We're in your hands. If we sin, we're in your hands to do with as you please and as you see fit. Knowing thy power. Knowing meaning what? There's an awareness. Being aware of what it is you can do. And that's a scary thing when you're aware. There's nothing more fearful than falling into the hands of the living God in that regard. Because there's no one or nothing that can save you. So you're dealing with however merciful this power will be. And this power can be merciful. This power can also dish out some very harsh judgments as well. So, and it says, but we will not sin, knowing that we are counted thine. But the reality is, those of us, we're going to try not to sin. We're going to try not to put ourselves in a place where we have to be judged in that regard, because we understand we belong to the Most High for better or worse. And we rather not put ourselves in the worst type of spot or situation. Verse 3. For to know thee is perfect righteousness. Yea, to know thy power is the root of immortality. Why would it says for to know thee is perfect righteousness? Because again, when you know the Most High, because everyone say, I know God, I got a personal relationship with God. So when the reality is someone observing your life or being with you day to day, hearing your conversation, can see whether or not those things are true or false. Why? Because when you truly know the Most High, there's an understanding, there's an awareness of how he is, how he gets down, and therefore there is a change in mindset, speech, and actions. So that all follow based upon knowing these things, being aware, and having this knowledge. When you don't have that knowledge, understanding, that's not going to be there. So because you just think I can get away with bloody murder, no, you cannot. So there is no free pass or license to sin. Anything you do that goes against the word of the Most High, you will be held accountable for one way or another, and you will be judged for it. Neither need you be, excuse me, need you be worthy of many stripes or few, but you will receive those stripes one way or another. And the Most High has a plethora of ways that He can judge you. The judgment of the Most High are many, so they're not limited, and they're not just subject to one thing. So Most High, He can hit with natural disasters, for example, form of judgment. So Most High can use the elements, earth, water, fire, air, against you. Most High can, use your bodily health and hurt you. So variety of ways, from the tip of your head, the sole of your foot, hit you with a number of different illnesses, even at different times. So Most High can hit you in your relationships, hit you in your marital relationships, in your parental relationships, relationship with your children, your friends. I mean, the list goes on. Even like you said concerning Craig, hey, if he sin, I'll beat him with the rods of men. Most High can use other human beings to judge you. Like, man, Most High ain't nothing to play with. And when you realize that level of awareness puts you in a place to where I need to watch how I'm moving more carefully, because the Most High can really mess me up in a number of ways. He can hit me with one of those things, or He can hit me with a number of those things. Like, it's not a game, not everyone takes their walk as seriously. So you have to realize that as well. So that's why it says in verse 3, for to know thee is perfect righteousness. Yea, to know thy power is the root of immortality. Because the reality is, once I know these things, I'm going to make sure I'm fighting that much harder to be right, lest I'm wrong and I be destroyed, both in this life and the life to come, and the next, as they say. You don't want that. Verse 4, for neither did the mischievous invention of men deceive us, nor an image spotted with diverse colors, the painter's fruitless labor. So, when understanding the righteous, they're in a place where these idols and things, all these deceptions, they're not in a place where they're getting caught up in that. They're in a place where they're overcoming those things. So that's the thing, where they're not getting, stuck in all those things that the world is getting stuck in. So things that men have made that is deceptive. It seems right, it seems good, but the reality is this is not the way. This is not the path of righteousness. This is not the path that the Most High wants us to follow. So, but many are getting caught up in that. So getting caught up in images, taking these things as God. You don't want that. So, like I said, and the painter's fruitless labor, because here it is, you painted. Think about, okay, put it in perspective. Think about how many images there are of other gods that are so exquisitely painted, made, fashioned, designed. Well, guess what? All those things, it can look lovely, but it's fruitless labor, because these gods are no gods. You were better off painting something else, spending your time doing something else, because now this is a stumbling block. So this is now a problem, and a stumbling block for others, and including yourself, probably. More than likely, you painted these things and you believe in them. So usually that's the case. So there's some type of connection there. Not just I don't like that. I know they do, but I'm paying, and but some do, some do. I'm paying, just make some money off of it. I'm not with it, but they like it. So here you go. So verse 5, the sight whereof enticeth fools to lust after it, and so they desire the form of a dead image that hath no breath. So now the sight thereof, people seeing these things, and it's enticing. It's beautiful to behold. And yet and still, without understanding that, hold up, this isn't really a God. This isn't really the true depiction of God. But yet, this is what now I have hanging in my home. Even multiple pictures hanging in my home. Pictures I might even keep in my car. Nowadays on my phone. Now even more so, it's picture thing people get tattooed. So they put other lockets and things of these things because this is what they count as their God. This is what they count as their power. So without realizing that the power doesn't even want you to do these things in this way. Like the irony, you making these images in these ways when the Creator doesn't want you to make those images in those ways. So because then you pay more attention to the photo, the depiction, than you do the actual power. I'm gonna worship that, but nah, that's not me. Or you be in a space where the irony and how many people have gotten those depictions, you get the tattoos of these guys and things when Most High Power doesn't even want you getting the tattoos in the first place. But it's supposed to honor the Most High when it's really disrespecting the Most High and how the Most High feels towards it, which we have to learn and know, because our job is to try to please the Most High God, not ourselves. So, and of course, and like I said, the latter end of verse 5, and so they desire the form of a dead image that have no breath. He doesn't want that. You desire a form of a dead image that have no breath. That image can't talk to you. It's not about to come alive, and no, he doesn't want that. Verse 6, both they that make them, so listen to this, both they that make them, they that desire them, and they that worship them are lovers of evil things, and are worthy to have such things to trust upon. That's how the Most High God feels. That's what we have to understand. Even in certain people, you might be in a space where, yes, I would love a physical depiction of my God and power that I can hang and put up. Certain people, you might actually like that. Being honest with yourself and your thought, you might actually like that. Understandable. I'm not gonna, judge you if that's a personal preference. Because I could be out in this day and age. It would be nice to have a physical depiction, because you see all these other guys depicted everywhere, and then you grew up being taught certain images were God, but you realize really weren't. But those images are embedded in your mind because that's what you always saw. So even as you're learning and coming into the truth, some of those images are still in your head. And I'm like, man, you trying to get them images out of your head. And trying to think of another image, that is more alike or more to the real thing than the fake portrayal that you've been being hit with. So that's where that can come from. At least shoot, at least me. So you have that. So you know you seeing in this thing a depiction of a God or gods everywhere. But not the living creator. So it's like, man, this poor mother, I would have felt better if they just had pictures of a burning bush everywhere. Like from all, just man, at least having something more abstract like that. Have that embedded in my mind. But even then, that still wouldn't be what the Most High would want man to do, because it's like that's still not me. That's how I chose to manifest in that situation, but that's still not me. I'm not a burning bush. So no. And then, like I said, that those things for the Most High God, those things are evil. Even if you think like, man, it's just something small, just like a picture. I can't paint you a picture. I'm trying to paint a picture of you. But Most High, like, I don't want a picture of me. I don't want you to limit me to a picture, because now you're trying to limit me to this, and I'm limitless. It's like show me a picture of air. Depict air. How would you really depict air? Because the reality is, you can't really think about it. You can't really depict air. When people try to depict air, what do? They try to depict the debris in the air. You can't really depict air because air is translucent. It's clear. So you're trying to depict air by drawing to show you air. So no. So it's like, how then do you can you truly depict air? No. So in the Most High, that much more with the Most High, you can't truly capture the Most High God the way He intends or wants to be captured. So no. It's like if I tried to tell you right now, take a picture of just air. Just air. It'd be hard for you to do, because you can't just capture the air. You're always going to capture the background. The house, the trees, the car, the boat. And it's like you can't just eliminate all that and just get air. Can't do that. So the Most High God, His perspective the same way toward Him. You can't just capture me. You can't just get my snippet, my picture, and expect to have, like, capture my omnipotence. You can't do that. Most High, like, no, you still can't get me. You still don't got me. So let's continue. Verse 7. For the potter, tempering soft earth, fashions every vessel with much labor for our service. Yea, of the same clay he maketh both the vessels that serve for clean uses, and likewise also all such as serve to the contrary. But what is the use of either sort? The potter himself is the judge. And that's like with the Most High. See, the potter with the clay can make a variety of pottery. And with the same clay can make a variety of pottery, but have different use. What are you making right here? Oh, this here is a flower vase. Oh, what are you making right now? What are you making with this? Oh, this is a bowl to eat out of. This is a dish. So this is a dish to eat out of. So, oh, okay. Well, what is this? Oh, this is a spit pot. Oh, what is this? This is a piss pot. It's the same clay, but yet and still, I'm deciding how I'm going to use it to make what and for what use. Most High, the same thing. He's taking the same foundation with man and saying that, hey, these people I'm going to set for this purpose. These people for this purpose. These people I'm going to set near me. I'm not going to. Most High, the same thing. And how are you going to tell the Most High, nah, that's wrong thing? How? This is what I formed, and this is what I am going to do with it. These are spirits that I made that are strictly evil. They will do evil. I will call them demons or evil angels. These are spirits that I made to do good. These are my good. These are my good angels. Most High God, he created all that. That was all according to his will. So, and who are you to challenge him or tell him differently? Because you're also the creation. You are not the creator. But even as the creation, Most High gives you the ability to create on multiple different levels. So multiple different levels. Need to be through artistry or through, even be able to have children, different ways of being able to create, making things in your image. So, need to be in the reflection of your physical makeup, or, like with children, or just being in a space where you're creating things according to, in your image of your knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. No, I'll make this. I'll make this type of painting. Oh, I'll make this type of music, so on and so forth. So you have that. So, but Most High, he's paralleling it with a potter so that you get an idea that, okay, potter starts with the same base. I just decide how I'm going to use it and what I'll make it into. So, verse 8, and employing his labors lewdly, he maketh a vain god of the same clay. Even he, which a little before was made of earth himself, and within a little while after returned to the same, out of the which he was taken, when his life, which was lent him, shall be demanded. Now that's something, that's crazy. Here it is, you come from the clay yourself, you come from the earth yourself, but then of that same earth where you come from, you're going to make a god. You're going to make a god, a power higher than yourself from the very same thing you come from. Think about that. Very same thing you come from, you're going to take and make a god out of. Usually a god, a power, is something that is higher than yourself, not equal or lesser. Man makes a god out of something equal or lesser than himself, not greater. So, what kind of sense does that truly make? And then, as it says, like the other thing, like even understanding, like your life is linked to you. These bodies, you're renting, you're leasing. These bodies you can't keep. They are temporary. It's not like, oh, Stan, I got this body. You know what? I'm gonna keep this body for a while. You is it? Yeah, I think I like this model. I'm gonna let this run 1,000 years. It's just that's just how I feel. I'm just gonna let this body run 1,000 years. That's what I'm gonna do. So you don't have that type of power. You don't even have that type of power over your own body, over your own self. Let's not even get started with your spirit. You get, you know what, my spirit, see, I want my spirit just to be able to dwell on the earth. Just let me walk around in astro form. Let me just astro project. Let me just, move just as am on another plane, but just in the world, being in the world, but not of the world, and just roam free and just, watch stuff. So no, you don't control that. You can't do that. That's not within your power. Now you realize just how limited you are, just how limited we are, how powerless we are, how much less power we have, truly. And that's where we have to know, understand that, yeah, even as power, even as gods, we're very much so limited, especially in these bodies. Very much so limited. Because some people, hey, they believe in themselves as the higher power or highest power. And they take the godhood beyond what they should, not realizing you're still in your manhood or womanhood or childhood. So you're very much so limited. Certain things sound good. Oh, all right. You are God. Shouldn't be looking for a God. The God is in you. Sounds good. But yeah, you believe that, go out there and run in front of traffic. You make sure you with your godhood tell all these cars to stop. So if you believe that, you go skydive without a parachute. For real. And you believe you the power like that. Prevent death. I mean, we talking power, right? If you the God, you should be able to have power over that. If you're the God in that regard, and oh no, it's just too far. I mean, but that's what you're saying. That's what you're coming off as. So as if you're the ultimate power or authority. Well, put your money where your mouth is. Put it to the test. So then people begin to sober up real quick. Then I'm all right. Yeah, if you that guy, go ahead and cross over to the other dimension. Put yourself in that TV show. Project yourself in that TV. So realize they live. Go on and teleport on over there. Go on, teleport real quick. Bloop. You know. I'm just saying. There wants to be a power, but not realizing, yeah, scriptures say we're gods, but we should die as men. That yeah, we have some power, but our power is limited. We guys with a little g. And most of that, the attaining of that power and godhood comes from what? Comes from here. In here. That godhood is mind, body, and spirit. Ability to learn, understand, adapt, apply. To have power over my thoughts, over my words, over my actions, and not letting those things steer the boat and control me. Not being in a space where I'm being controlled by my emotions or feelings. Well, I'm just letting every thought control my action. No. I have to take control of those things to do what is good, what is wise, what is just, what is right. That's truly obtaining of godhood. And once you do that, all then you're waiting for is for the new bodies, those celestial bodies, to then have the true power that will come with that. But you first have to adapt and master the mind and this spirit and this body. That's the first step. Because, I mean, think about it. Imagine. You see all these superhero movies and shows. That's why I kind of like ones like, what's that on I believe, Amazon Video or Prime Video. I believe The Boys is on that one. So, and it shows you people with powers, but yet they lack a moral and civil compass. So what do you have then? Corruption. That's really truly how it would be. People have powers. The boy is a good example. That's truly human nature. Yeah, we like to feel good about the Avengers and Marvel, all that stuff, and that's just that's just a fantasy. So you really gonna have them people that think about in this day and age. Mostly people have powers out here. Many people have powers. Have the human population, shoot, 1/3, even 25%, 1/4 had power. You have a lot of problems with morality and civility. So, but then what you have powers, that's what makes you godly. That's one side. That's the other side of being godly. But all you're gonna do is have what? Increases in crime and things of that nature, because now you're abusing these things. Now you're abusing them. Using these things to increase all these other, yeah, now you got speed like the Flash, but you're just using it to rob people, rob banks, and rob stores, stealing from mom and pop shops, like the whole nine. Yeah, now you got the power to go invisible, but now you over here being a predator, stalking people's houses, stalking people's families, being a rapist, abusing these things. Yeah, you're getting these things, but you have to have first the right mindset and things to be in control. These are the things that the Most High is teaching us. So now, let's continue. Verse 9 said, notwithstanding, his care is not that he shall have much labor, nor that his life is short, but striveth to excel, goldsmith and silversmith, and endeavoreth to do like the workers in brass, and counteth it his glory to make counterfeit things. So count it his glory to make counterfeit things. The counterfeits. Counterfeit being that ain't really it. It's fake. It's not real. It's not genuine. Yeah, you're making all these images of these guys. These aren't real gods, though. These aren't real powers. You're making all these little statues and things, and people buy all these little, little god statues or big god statues, but that's not really a god. That statue ain't finna move or do anything. But you take it as a god. You worship it. Pray to it. You feel like if you rub it 3 times, you'll get good luck. Have a good day. No. That's not how that works. But yet you convince yourself, well, I feel like it, since I've been doing it, and like, I've been having, some good luck, and it was like, it's like the days I forget, it's like just feel like bad stuff happened, but when I remember, it's like something good that day happens, and all those things are just mishaps, or it's what Satan deceives you into believing, because Satan good will bless you as long as you're going against the will of the Most High. As long as you're not trying to be right, and he'll continue to allow these things to be fruitful and prosper for you, because you're being adverse to righteousness. That's the key. If you're adverse to righteousness, Satan will bless you. But it's not coming from the Most High God. And that deceives people. And that's what deceives people to think that if I'm in sin, must be all right. Must not be too bad because I'm getting blessed. But yeah. But who's blessing you and why? To what end? Satan, who is the God of this world, will bless you for doing the wrong thing. Because Satan is adverse to the right thing. Even though Satan gives his power from the Most High, but the Most High, he's like, hey, that's not the power I want you to tap into. Even though it comes at the end of the day, for me, that's on the dark side. I don't want you on the dark side. I want you on the light side. That's the power I give of the deception. That's the test. That's the trial. The real power is on this side. This side I want you on. So get over here. So now, verse 10. His heart is ashes. His hope is more vile than earth, and his life of less value than clay. So now, it becomes where if you stay therein, you become nothing worth, nothing of value. So, because you're worshiping things that are of lower value than yourself. See, in the eyes of the Most High God, you're above. Think about it. In the eyes of the Most High God, not only is it an insult to Him to make these things for you to think it's Him or worship Him in any sort of way, but you believe these things that you made, these guys, these paintings, these sculptures, to be even more honorable than yourself. You put these things in high regard, make special altars and rooms for these things and closets when you're of greater value than the thing you're worshiping. And you over here, you go out of your way and make sure nothing happened to this, and this is all good, but then you'll do things to degrade and hurt your own health. Like you're the more valuable thing. Some people break their neck, let their mercy out. They'll break their neck trying to get the statue or picture of that God or deity out of the house. When man, leave that thing. You the more valuable. Make sure you get out. People risk their life. I got 3rd-degree burns over, but at least I got it out. It's like, what? Man, let that thing go. You did more harm to the more valuable thing, which was you. I don't care if that God is made out of gold, whatever else it is, silver, gold plated, silver. You're still more valuable. You're still more valuable. Remember, we're still, I mean, man, the scriptures tell us we just don't listen. Like, our women, virtuous women, like, more valuable than any ruby, pearl, diamond, are men. More valuable than any gold, and you over here thinking the ruby, the diamond, the gold is the more valuable thing. No, you are. You're more valuable. Some of you in disbelief, dang, well, how? This here can be worth hundreds, thousands. You're still worth more. Man, more than all this? Yeah. Well, how you figure? Put it to you in simplistic terms. Let's think about it for a minute. Let's think about it. Make it easy. Toyota it real quick. Toyota, you like Toyota. Make it easy. Oh, so easy. Easy on you. Woman, virtuous one, more valuable than rubies, pearls, diamonds. All those things you think have some value. Think about a good diamond. You look at something like what? $1,000, diamond ruby, 5,000. Heck, you put 10,000. Put whatever you want on it. You put 50. You put 20,000, 100,000. Put on that. For that rock. That virtuous woman is still more valuable. How? That virtuous woman is going to take on more jobs than you can probably think off of and name within 5 minutes. That virtuous woman, she is the laundry attendant. She is the cook, the maid, the teacher. Think about that right now. Think about all those professions. How much would you have to pay them daily to do those things? She's doing it all. She's playing all those roles. How much would she be making playing all those roles at once? Getting hired, because normally you get hired, I just do this. Nah, she getting hired, she's all those things. She's the nurse, she's the therapist and all those things. Virtuous woman, she's all those things. Think about how much she would be getting paid an hour for each of those roles. Think about it. You do the math. Look up those occupations. Think about how much they be getting paid an hour. Think about it. Think about how much they're getting paid an hour, and then think about how much that woman is truly owed. That's the value of a virtuous woman. That's why it says her price is far above rubies. I was like, who can find her? Who can find? Because she's that valuable. She's wearing all these hats and doing all these things. That's of high value. That's why she's worth more than diamonds, ruby, and gold. Because that might only be worth 5, 10, 15, 20, 200,000. No, but if she's playing all these roles, and if you had to literally pay her to play all of these roles, you'd be bankrupt. You couldn't afford her. Couldn't afford her. You'd be bankrupt. But then you gonna make some stone wood god deity and bow down to that. That is much lesser of value than yourself. You're of the greater value. You, in comparison, that wood god, whatever statue should be worshiping you. Not you, it. You're of the greater value. I mean, come on now. You got to think about it. Again, that's men and women included. I mean, you're the greater value. So you just have to understand and truly lock in to understanding why the Most High is saying these things. You know, these are the reasons why. These are the things you have to think of and fathom to say, like, dang, I really am that valuable. Yeah, you are. And guess what? Your value is only limited to your ability to grow or the lack thereof. The more you can learn and grow and achieve, the more valuable you become. I learned how to sew. Okay, you done added seamstress or even if a man, you done added tailor to the resume. Guess what? Your market value just went up. Think about that. Yeah, for real. Your market value just went up. You actually learned how to cook. You know, because, you know, not everybody know how to cook. They just think because they pop some stuff in the oven, they know how to cook. Nope, that ain't the way it worked. No, you actually learn. You took time to actually learn how to cook. You know, you ain't just, you know, throwing some seasoning and some stuff, expect it to taste good and people to like it, and I just whip some stuff together and I know how to cook. No. It's I actually learned how to cook. That's a value. Everybody don't know how to cook. I don't care how old you are. Everybody don't know how to cook. How to actually make food taste good, let alone, this is what hurt a lot of people. To make it taste good and be healthy or even healthier for you, a lot of people taken out of the game. That's one of the hardest things to master. To make food healthy or at least healthier and taste good. That's a skill right there. That's a skill. A lot of people that go on, take yourself back to school. You know, go on. Some people, boy, they losing that game. Just drop out, get your GED. You all right? You all right? Just go on ahead, go back to the drawing board. So, you know, it's like, man. But still, this is, again, you know, all these things drawn out, but it's to paint a picture so you can understand that this is how the Most High feels about it. This is what he's trying to get us to understand. Trying to get us to see. Like, really? You don't see this? You don't believe this? Where you at? What you thinking about? You need to get it together. So, that's why verse 11. And that's why 10. His heart is ashes. His hope is more vile than earth, and his life of less value than clay. You make your life less valuable because you're not operating the way that you should. It's like, here it is. I made this vessel to be a dinner plate, and it can't function as a dinner plate. It can't. It's all messed up. So now it's now what good is it? What good is it? I mean, man, you all broke. I can't even use you as a pot to piss in. You ain't even right for that. You got to think, man, it was just a piss pot, but you ain't even built right to be good at that. You have even a lesser value than that because you can't function right, because you messed up. Think about it, because it's supposed to be a dinner plate that you put food on there that people are going to consume, put in their bodies. But if that's messed up, bro, you can't even I can't even use you as a pot to piss in. Somebody just urinate in. And that's the thing, that the waste that comes out of somebody. And you have lesser value than that. That's the most I feel. You can't function the way that he wants you to function, that he's intended. Now, verse 11. For as much as he knew not his maker, because everybody, that's the thing, everyone does not know their maker. Everyone does not know their maker. People can feel like it. Again, I know God, I got a personal relationship with. Oh, my Lord. So, for as much as he knew not his maker, in him that inspired into him an active soul and breathing a living spirit. So, because remember, he gave you an active soul. Right now, these bodies are active. Without that soul, these bodies would be dead. They wouldn't be active. Now they active. You didn't activate it. And that breath, that you there, you alive. But the Most High God did that. Most High God. Man been trying to figure that out the whole time. They trying to Frankenstein and things and trying to electrocute, bring something to life and just think if I can just put some organs in something, I can get it alive and walking. No, it doesn't work that way. You can have everything what one would think medically intact or sound and still not be alive. Why? Because missing a soul. Missing a soul. You need that spirit. So you ain't just gonna be able to make it happen the way you want to. So verse 12, but they counted our life a pastime, and our time here a market for gain. Or say they, we must be getting every way, though it be by evil means. Ooh, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. Because in this world, in this day and age, they do count our lives a pastime, something to be for their enjoyment and entertainment. That's your oppressors. They're for their enjoyment, their entertainment. So, and then take advantage of our time here. I can come up off of them. Come up off of you. Off your pain, your suffering, or just simply utilizing your circumstances to gain, to get what it is that they want. Get you to labor, use you up like a battery. So, and like I said, even if the means may be corrupt or evil, they're good with it as long as it works out, as long as it's successful. They're good with it. You have that. Very Joblin thing. You're just a battery to be charged and used up. And when you're dead, throw you away. Well, we use that one up. On to the next. And you see that. That's why many places across the world, you're just a number. You're just a number. You're not truly valued as a member of the team or as family. So you're not. So now, reading verse 13. For this man that of earthly matter maketh brittle vessels and graven images, knoweth himself to offend above all others. know themselves to offend above all others. Boy, some people, they do that. They offend above all others with the things that they make. Look at the so-called depictions of the one whom the world knows as Jesus Christ. Everywhere, everywhere. These pictures that you know are false, counterfeit. But made in an image that isn't even a accurate depiction of even the people and nation for whom which Christ came. That offends even above the depictions of all else. So this ain't even anywhere near what he looked like. But his wishful thinking is the desire. That's what you wanted him to look like. That ain't it. So, but that offends above all others. That becomes the problem. So, in verse 14, and all the enemies of thy people that hold them in subjection are most foolish and are more miserable than very babes. Why would it say that? That's a statement. And all the enemies of thy people, because that's also it, because they're the ones, the key ones, making the idols, making these various gods, so-called. So, but yet with our people, with our enemies that have us in subjection unto them, so they are most foolish, because they're the main inventors of these things. But yet it says, and are more miserable than very babes. Because how is a babe miserable? Well, see, because a babe, the things that they want, they're in a space where they're looking to others to provide. Every sort of uncomfortable, they're looking for someone else to provide. Well, the same thing for you, they're looking for you to provide. You to provide their entertainment. You to provide their happiness. You to provide their means of wealth. Because the rich, hey, they need what? They need the poor. So they're looking for you to provide all these various things for them to make their lives go round. That's what they're looking for. Even at this present day. Look at Western society. Your oppressor looking for you to entertain through need to be sports, music. They're looking for you to entertain. Brother, they're looking for you to work, these low-end jobs so they don't have to, so that they can focus on these high-end jobs. And so you do all the hard labor, but get paid pennies on the dollar, get paid crumbs, whereas they have the more cushiony positions, but make all the money, but do very little of the work. Set up by design. That's the design, that's the nature. So, 15, they counted all the idols of the heathen to be gods, which neither have the use of eyes to see, nor noses to draw breath, nor ears to hear, nor fingers of hands to handle. I need fingers of hands to handle. Can't handle without the fingers of the hands. So, can I? So now, and as for their feet, they are slow to go. So now, look at that. You're making all these things. They need to be a painting or a statue, wood or stone. And yet, you put these features on it, right? You put these features on it. Give them the hair, which you can't really style. Give them, they have eyes there. But guess what? They can't really see you. Can't really see. They have ears and things. They can't really hear anything. Got a mouth. They can't really speak. Nose. They can't really smell. All the thing you depicted on there, but none of it is of any use. So why put it there in the first place? None of it is of any use. Just to be a similitude, just to have a similitude of something, a resemblance of something similar in some ways to you. vainglory, all this stuff done in vanity. But yet and still, people feel, hey, this is my God, this is my power, this is what I worship, or this is what I honor, this is what I pray to. Negative. That's not what you want. So I said they counted all the idols of heathen to be gods. A lot of people, hey, you count these idols to be real. A lot of people get caught up in those things. You count these things to be God or power that you worship or that you honor. Now you got a statue in your house. Now you got a picture up on your wall. Hey, that's what I believe in. That's what you believe in is falsehood according to the Most High God. But again, as you have that. So, but we'll go ahead and end it right here in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15 and verse 15. And Most High permit, next time we'll go ahead and continue in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15 and verse 16, and we'll continue on, from there. Okay, so yeah, we'll continue on, from there for sake of time. Okay, so that way it kind of helps me with ending somewhere clean. So I'm picking things back up. So, because I don't want to rush the chapter just to clear the chapter. So, which again, yeah, no rush. So we pick things back up where we left off and keep it pushing. So, but with that, hope you learned some. Hope you got some out of that. And with that, shoot, I say shalom.